Hello, everybody. I'm John Cena. I've come to the Terynn and Dez show for the same reasons you have.
Terynn Lee, the queen of the drunk-eyed Canadians. She's the craziest bitch you'll ever meet, and she chops like a motherfucker. See her breaking hearts and smoking darts on the cruise.
Yeah.
Desi Bear, actor, comedian, podcaster, and writer. He's going crazy, and you will too.
It's TDS! The Terynn and Dez show! Let's go!
Freak out, everybody.
It's
Freak
Let's
out.
Go. I've already told you a million times. So did Flying Ryan. It's Let's Go. He said, and I quote, I sing the fucking song. It's Let's Go.
Look, absolutely, that man was under a spell and would say anything at all. That would be untrue. I do not believe it with my heart of hearts. So freak out, everybody. It's TDS Tuesday. Holy fuck, it's the 25th of June. We're a week away from Canada Day. It's going to be a fucking short week next week. It's going to be a long weekend. And we're celebrating in a big way, Teryn. Why the fuck is it a big episode tonight, Teryn?
Because I'm here, duh. Because your guys' favorite Whore Next Door is here again on Tuesdays. Oh my God.
Break out those fake accounts. Get it going here. You've got 30 minutes.
Give me more
Fucking
than one
roll
this week, guys, because that one really hurt my feelings last week. Fuck's sakes. But yeah, we're here for a good old time, a good old chat, some wild shenanigans, trying to get wasted, you know, the usual. But Dez is really excited, so I can't even take this from him. I will let him do the introduction. He's so excited about this. I know.
All right, everybody. Today on the show, it's a big one. We have got an awesome guy here on the program. Stand-up comedian, Kill Tony legend, Sam Walker is on the program. He's joining us now here on the program live here on TDS Tuesday. Give it up, everybody. Sam Walker, everybody. This is going to be fucking awesome here. Yes.
This is so amazing.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, it's mainly a Canadian program, but we can fuck with the American flag. That's fine.
I am living, breathing American culture right now because I'm on my way down there. As far as work is concerned, that's where the work is these days. So I'm doing my damnedest to get down there.
Fuck yeah. Where are you living right now? What's going on?
Right now is basically summer holidays.
Nice.
Comedy is pretty slow in the summer. It's tough to get people to go out when there's patios and concerts and the stampede going on.
Woo!
So, oh yeah, I know you're ready for it. You got your shorts?
Yeah, they're not on right now. I had them out the other day though with my sparkle cowboy boots. Thought I'd go big this year. I'm tossed up between the Canadian colors and the purple, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that stampede fashion this year. That's for sure.
My favorites are the ones that wear hats and then they put the cowboy hats on top. You're down there, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go right into that on TDS. If you want to know more, please go check out the Calgary Stampede and overpay for hotels and food and absolutely everything. It'll be worth every dime. Probably not, but go check it out.
Yeah, the new motto this year is the Calgary Stampede. You're not going to get laid, but you're definitely going to get fucked.
Yeah, and you're not even gonna. You can't even. Can you even shower down there yet?
Look, that's an urban myth here. There's 1.5 million people in Calgary. There is a river running through the middle of the city.
I know the whole river. I swim in it.
They still have sailing lessons going on at the Glenmore Reservoir. We have water.
Okay. Just checking to see if I needed to bring any extra wet naps down for my friends down there in a couple weeks. Just if they were running out of the
You know, it never helps to have a couple extra wet naps during the stampede. That's for sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I'm used to fucking wrestling crowds, so I'll be fine with people stinking. You fucking, we're fucking 7 months away from the Jericho cruise. Time to start practicing up them showers right now, guys. Gross.
Yeah.
Matt Harding, just so you know, gonorrhea is actually not that popular right now in Alberta. It's syphilis. Okay? Chlamydia and syphilis.
Those are two of the higher end STIs that we got going along these days.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
I do ask these questions when I go see my doctor. I'm like, hey, what STDs are floating around these days? Like, what do the kids got? And then they look at me like I'm silly.
Which is funny because I usually get my ideas about STIs the opposite way, which is when they're like, hey, this is what you got because this is what's going around. So there's often big conversations going on about that shit there. So it's fun.
I mean, that's real.
Oh, man. So, Sam, tell me about, you say you're going to America here. You say the work's happening in America here. What is your trade? Tell the people exactly what you do here and how long you've been doing it, because I definitely want to get into this.
So I am in the most dangerous profession in the world right now, and that is stand-up comedian in Canada, in North America, actually. I have a visa now to go work down in the United States of America as a professional entertainer. And it's a luxury afforded very few of us in this industry. And I intend to represent Canada awfully while I'm down there. And so me and the fellas, I'm in a comedy troupe known collectively as the Danger Cats. You might have heard of us here and there. We've been in the news a little bit over the last few months. And there's three of us. There's myself, Brett Forte, and Uncle Hack. And we tour together under the Danger Cats banner, and we've been ripping it up across Canada for the last 3 years. And now we're migrating down south because Canada's just kind of too small for what we're doing these days. There's not enough population down or up here. So now we need to go to where the people are. And we're slowly and steadily breaking in. We're opening for the one and only, the living legend, still in his prime, Brian Holtzman.
Yes.
And that is a huge honor to be cracking open crowds for that guy, because it's wild. He's a living legend, still in his prime. It's a real treat to be a part of it. And we've been making inroads down in Texas. We've been throwing down shows down there, and I'm once again trying to get back on Kill Tony. I haven't been on there in a few years, and I got a hankering to show them fellas. They did me the honor of making me an unofficial golden ticket winner, and I'm trying to get back on there and show them how much better I've got since the last time I was there.
Fuck yeah, man. So what's it like in Austin right now? Like when you guys travel down there, is it just Austin, or are you guys going to cities around Austin, or is there enough in just Austin?
Yeah, we're going pretty hardcore in Austin because that's kind of the new comedy mecca for stand-up comedy is there. There's a number of clubs clustered in a small area in Austin downtown. It's called East 6th Street, and it is the Wild West. Think of the Stampede Midway, except with violent men with guns. That's what it is.
Scary.
Yeah. You'd like it, Teryn.
I'd like it for sure. I love that gun violence. It's right up my alley. I've only ever shot a gun once.
Or knife violence, you know.
Hey,
Weapon violence.
I don't stuff with knives because I shotgun. Okay, I just keep one handy at all times.
Yeah, exactly. You'll do fine down there. I look forward to seeing you on Dirty Sixth. But that's where you got like your comedy mothership, the Vulcan Gas Company, the Sunset Strip, and the Creek and the Cave. Those are like there's many Roscoe's as well. Those are just a handful of the comedy clubs they got going down in Austin, and then we're traveling down to Dallas, the Fort Worth area. Plano, Texas. So we're getting around San Antonio as well. We'll be down in San Antonio next time we're heading down to Austin.
Is there a lot of mullets down there at the show? I know
you know what? It's incredible. I go down there and I have like the 6th best mullet on the show, and mustache too. These guys are amazing. They got a lot going down there. Very talented group of people, and to be able to swim in those waters. The general population doesn't know who we are down there, but the comedians do.
Yeah.
And that's a huge compliment, because they're seeing what's going on up here and the trials and tribulations that we're going through just to provide laughter to the greater Canadian public. We got a reputation as being bad guys, but I can assure you we're the best in the business right now. Nobody does it better.
Absolutely. Hey, we're seeing great reviews, definitely, from the people that go to the shows, you know.
I've gone.
Yeah.
I've gone a few times, so I think it's great. It's a fucked up sense of humor, but who's not fucked up these days? Let's be real.
No,
Well,
exactly. It is, and it's more of an urban legend at this point. With I just want to briefly touch on some Canadian history here. Is I got into a lot of controversy over a joke and a T-shirt I was telling about the most prolific serial killer in Canadian history of Robert Pickton. And I don't know if you guys have been following along with the news lately, but once his parole came up, they started looking into what his history is. And 25 years, this guy's been mothballed to society. And then suddenly I start telling a joke and I make a T-shirt about his horrific crimes. And they ended up murdering him in prison about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks to a month ago, Robert Pickton was murdered. So the Canadian taxpayer at large can personally thank me for doing the work that the Canadian justice system didn't have the guts or the balls to do. And I did it. So Canada, you are welcome.
Yeah, there you go. There you guys have it.
Doing the service.
Basically killed Robert Pickton.
Yeah.
Let's get him onto something bigger now. Let's get him on to the next big one. You know what I mean? There's fucking global problems here that can be solved by straight up.
Well,
you know?
Dez, I think we need to come up with a new target. Like we could cross Pickton off the list, and I'm thinking Paul Bernardo or Luca Magnotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Carla Homolka is out in the streets.
Oh yes, she is.
Yeah,
Vince Lee as well. So I do have a dark bent on my comedy. That's always been where I go, but it's also Canadian history. Like a lot of the younger people, they had no idea who Robert Pickton was until I started tearing them apart. And I'm also a 5-time roast battle champion of Canada. And I was down in Austin, Texas in the summer of 21, rocking that roast battle title. And I got it endorsed live on Kill Tony by the roast god himself. So when I set my sights on a target in the public eye, I don't pick on civilians. I go for the big dogs. And Robert was one of them. And we got a lot of garbage to clear out of Canada. We got so many people that are dragging this place down. This is a nice place.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of people that are working consistently against it. And they're coming at us and me specifically about the Robert Pickton shirt, because I brought a whole bunch of brand new eyes to the crimes that were supposedly committed. There was no way that one man murdered 50 women. There's no way. It was a nice tight bow that the government and law enforcement wrapped it up and problem solved and moving on. And that's just not the way the world is. We live in a surveillance society where there are cameras everywhere all the time. We live all our lives online. We're all entertainers. And your story's got to check out. And reality is no one person can cause that much death and destruction alone. They need to have people helping them. And so there's more crimes to be solved. There's more mysteries to be awaken the public to. And if I have to be the bad guy to do it, then so be it. Because I know that I'm bringing laughter and light into this world. And people can hate me, but damn it, I'm a wrestler of life. And this is how I roll. I'm constantly on the road and wrestling. So I was highly honored to be a part of your guys' cast because you guys are wrestlers as well.
Well, Dez is. I'm not. Well, I fuck with life.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're
I
a
fuck with
wrestler of
life.
life, Teryn. Yeah, and
Every
you're main eventing every room you walk into. You got goddamn entrance music going on, and you're cutting promos and busting chops. I'd call
Not
that
really.
a wrestler.
I wish I
Yeah.
had that with balls.
She's
But-
absolutely fucking hitting right in the head here.
Yeah, and I know she's getting into domestic disputes everywhere she goes.
No, I'm actually not that bad. Only sometimes. Everybody thinks I'm like the most violent person. I'm not. People won't fuck
Run
with
the
me.
clips, Dad. Run the clips. I'm just kidding.
I've seen her best. I did fuck Cheeseburger up. That is a solid wrestling video clip. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not.
I'll repost that later on the TDS page and on the Instagrams and stuff. But I did.
People know not to fuck around. So right, like, well, except for people who are making fake accounts. Good point.
Yeah, exactly. Like, where are the fake accounts tonight? I put my best horror shirt on. Okay. This is like he's going after the big ones, and Robert Pickton had help. I have help being the biggest whore I can be. His name's Dez. Okay, he's out here prostituting me out. Okay, like, what do you guys want?
Nice.
He's out here working for the people. I do my whoring for you guys.
Yeah, and I damn well know Dez is a wrestler.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And yeah, there's a whole lot, but man, this could be like a 5-hour fucking episode here, dude, because I want to talk about like so much shit that I'm just interested in your life and how you got there.
Ask away. Yeah.
So at what point did you start like doing comedy? Was it with the Cats, or was Hack just like, did he find you, or were you already doing it?
This is years before. So prior to I started comedy, I wrote my first 5 minutes in 2015, and just basically had 5 minutes of mustache jokes. It crushed, but that was basically where I started on the open mics in Calgary, and on specifically Comedy Monday Night, the longest running open mic in Canada. James Moore runs it, and it's top shelf. And that was where I kind of cut my teeth in comedy. And it's not easy getting stage time. And I wasn't even on social media in those days. I didn't even have an Instagram or a Facebook or Twitter. And so I broke into the industry just on showing up and handshakes, phone calls, and emails. And then after a year in comedy, I got into the money zone, where a booker for Yuck Yucks was at one of the shows and saw me rip a hot 5-minute set and asked me, would you want to go out on the road? And my very first show was up in Fort McMurray.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. And I barely had 10 minutes at the time, but I stretched it into, I think, 14 minutes. I did 14 minutes, and up in Alberta, it's sink or swim. Like out in Ontario, you got to do 10 years of the open mics before you can really start getting into it. But Alberta is such that they just they throw you in the deep end, and if you swim, then you're in. And I swam, whereas a lot of people can't handle life on the road. Like they're good in their community, but as soon as they get into a rowdy Fort Mac crowd and have to go off script, you got to be able to dance up there, man, because those people are expecting something, and heckling is a part of the show. It's wrestling. You got to be able to engage with the audience, and every audience is different. There's never ever a ringer like, oh, this audience is gonna. You can have an idea like, I should do well here, but. For an example is I did a swingers club back in 2018, and it was one of those things is Walker's going to kill. He's going to kill. This is his audience. The owner of the swingers club was a big fan, brought me in, and I walked half the audience that night. There was 100 swingers in there when I started, and there was less than 50 when I finished. Who knew there was so many?
Together, or did they split up?
Maybe you just got them so hot and bothered they needed to leave to go fuck each other.
Oh, there was an upstairs, and they weren't going upstairs. They were going out the back door.
Well, maybe they went out the back door to go into the back door. You never know.
I would hope so, but who knew there were so many prudes at a swingers club? It was one of those amazing shows. I had a great time, and I don't mind walking a crowd. I'm still going to have a good time, but yeah, it was one of those guaranteed kill rooms, so to speak, and it was bad.
So
It was bad.
going back to like heckling. So when people heckle you, does security go and tell those people to shut their mouths?
It varies from venue to venue. Like at some places, they're really militant and adamant about that, and they specifically have like big guys with huge muscles that are there to, like a professional doorman.
Okay, because I went to the one that's in West Ed.
Yeah,
Comic strip.
Comic strip.
Comic
Yeah.
strip. And like Teryn knows a thing or two about heckling at wrestling shows, and that is funny because it ties in hand. I went to see Dolph Ziggler, and I was heckling hard as fuck, and they told me to shut up. They're like,
okay.
Stop.
She would have got the lumens for sure, bro. I think.
I was like, nobody else is doing anything. I'm the one fucking being exciting out here, okay? Like, let me be me. But I always be getting told to shut up. So.
Yeah, that's a shame because a wrestling related show, you do want audience participation. Like the audience is as much as part of the show as the performer is.
Yeah,
and
it was wild. I mean, I was blacked out drunk, but like, let's be honest, I was still funny.
I imagine Dolph was laughing uproariously, and
I punched him in the stomach after at the meet and greet.
Did you know that's how Harry
He knew I was there.
Died?
What?
Yeah.
Houdini the magician. That was how he died.
Well, I didn't punch him hard. It was just like, hey, why did you ghost
I
me?
didn't get punched hard either,
Why is Vince Neil your favorite Motley Crue member and not Nikki Sixx? Like, it was just like fun. And then he signed my nipples. So, I mean, who really was the star of the fucking fans at that show? Those guys all had little wrestling dolls. Teryn pulled her. I said, you can sign my tear my ass. And then he just signed my whole nipple. And I said, well, all right, I guess we're here now. So no going back.
That's awesome. And see that we encourage a little bit of rowdiness at the shows to a point where it doesn't derail the show. But we've gone in and done theaters, and there's ushers there, and they're used to seeing like a nice tidy comedy show, and then we go in and they have an absolute conniption over the audience, and when it does start getting bad, that's when the lumens come out. I carry around a 1,000 lumen flashlight, and it's there to bust you up. You want to be a star of the show, then suddenly the spotlight's on you, and it usually, for the most part, shuts people up. And we have a door guy, road manager, that'll come in and take care of the trash if it gets really bad. But I gotta say, it is next to impossible to get kicked out of a Danger Cats show. It is quite the feat when you do. And if it happens, you're going to make the best of the worst highlight reel of getting booted from a Danger Cats show.
Brett will be out there with the phone recording you leaving for sure. 100%.
But I'm a habitual line stepper, and now like this is on my my radar.
Yeah, well, we'll keep in touch, and hopefully we can connect on a show, because I know you guys travel around quite a bit, and hopefully we'll be in the same, gracing each other with our presence in the same city, as opposed to seeing each other on a screen online. But I know time and logistics are such that this is the only way that we can get together and have a meeting tonight.
I mean,
that'd be wild to do a face-to-face one day for sure, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to get up to the Great White Yonder where you're occupying, because it sounds like, Dez, I got a lot of questions about you, and Teryn, there's a lot of things that I want to see, but I don't know how we want to do this with the back and forth.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, I know you've got some interesting tattoos, and so I hear tell.
I do have interesting tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody likes to see them.
Well, I mean, if you want to see my tattoos, my friend, no, I'm just kidding. Tony was just putting me over in the comments earlier. So, I mean, Nobody really gets to see my tattoos. The train don't go no more. The train is closed.
Yes. But as far as
there's no business up north. No business up north.
We'll see. We'll see.
Jesus Christ.
Rules are always meant to be broken.
Right.
In this day and age, that's how I've learned. But yeah, I was doing comedy, and I had linked up with the most metal comedian on the planet, Jason Rouse, who is known as the Devil's Jester, total maniac, and definitely look him up, Jason Rouse. He's wild, and I got to open for him, and then we became friends, and I became his opener for almost 2 years, and I got to travel all across Canada and even into Europe with him, and so I got to do some amazing shows in Denmark and Sweden. And let me tell you, like, we blew their hair back. The Danes are known for their pornography. Like back in the olden times when pornography wasn't on the internet and there wasn't a lot of it going around, the Danish were connoisseurs and pioneers of pornography. So they don't get shocked by much. And Jason and I came in and did really well in Denmark. Sweden, on the other hand, they were terrified of us. I almost wasn't let into the country on my arrival. They were very suspect about me. And I spent an hour in secondary being grilled by these guys. And the supervisor made the final call. They brought him in, and he was, the guy said, I'm going to bring my supervisor in, and he's going to make the decision on whether we let you in or not. And by the grace of God himself, they let me in, and I got to do. I was out there for a month with Jason Rouse, and it was a wild time. And so I had gotten some experience and some momentum in 2019, and then 2020 came in, and that was January. We all know 2020 is a rite of passage, because not everybody made it through that, and not everybody has made it through that. The damage that they did to society with lockdowns and their implementation of this one world communist government in the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization it's scary stuff, in that they were able to shut the world down and ruin everybody's life to a degree. Like, nobody made it through this unscathed.
Hey, I mean, if it wasn't for COVID and the lockdown, this here very show wouldn't exist.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that, because you got to adapt, improvise, and overcome. That's part of being an entertainer in this world. And my 2020 was off to a rocket ride. That was when Kill Tony had come to Calgary, and I didn't even have a ticket to the show. I just showed up because I'm a comedian, and at the venue, the Laugh Shop in Calgary, they usually have comedians privilege, where you're able to stand at the back of the room and watch whoever's in town. And so that was my thing, but the show was sold out. But the manager saw me and took pity on me and sold me a ticket. I got to put my name in the bucket. And then one of my original fans, Marty Grant, was there with his family, and I got to sit with him. And he said, prophetically, is like, make sure Sam's sitting on the outside so that he could get to the stage, because he believed in me. He believed in me so, and there wasn't a doubt in my mind that I was getting up. I was like, Kill Tony's in Calgary. I'm getting my name pulled from that bucket. Like, I just manifested it. And about 5 bucket pulls in, I get called to the stage. And from my understanding of Kill Tony, I was very weary of going up there, because I just saw them mowing guys down. Like, you go up there, and to be fair, most of the guys on Kill Tony suck. They blow it. The format is 1 minute, and if you're a comedian, you should have a tight minute, man, and you should be there. And rightfully so. Like, if somebody sucks, they lay waste to them. It's a lot of fun, but I was expecting the business from them, so I came up very confrontational. And as it was one of those shows where it's online forever. They recorded a documentary of it. It's called Roadkill. You can look it up on YouTube, and it shows kind of behind the scenes of what was going on. And I feature prominently in the doc, but I didn't do my hair that day. Like I just like used some crappy shampoo. So I had like the worst flow going in my entire life. And that footage is on the internet forever now. So it was a lesson learned, but I had a killer 1 minute set and a really good interview. And then I got to open for Tony for the weekend. Him and Jeremiah Watkins were at the Laugh Shop that weekend. So I made friends with them. And then they came to Just for Laughs Northwest. And that was in Vancouver. And they brought me up as a special guest there at the Vogue Theater on Granville in front of 1,300 people. I got my... Yeah, crushed there as well. And then we go back to the JFL Northwest, and I'm hanging out with Bill Burke. Like, I got to meet Bill. And, you know, we're shaking hands. And then I recorded an album. What was it? February 28th. I recorded an album called Barely Illegal at the Calgary Yuck Yucks, which I am now banned for life from.
And that's why I didn't go to this show in March when I was down there.
I appreciate you.
Because you were going to be there, but you weren't, so I didn't go.
I appreciate that. And look, it's not the venue's fault. It's the casino is now taking the reins on that one.
Is it in the Grey Eagle?
No, it's not the Grey Eagle. It's the Elbow River Casino right across from the Stampede grounds. And yeah, they've due to roast battle stuff.
Oh, well,
it's basically like to make a long story short for the audience, it's the equivalent. Like, I'm the 5-time roast battle champ. I'm the ultimate bad guy on that stage. And it went from basically like a papered room to a sold out Friday late show. Brett Forte started it, and he worked it into a sold out Friday show. And you got to have a champion, and you got to have a bad guy. And I became the Roddy Piper of Brett Forte's roast battles. And essentially they got mad at me. It's like Roddy Piper getting kicked out of WrestleMania for the crowd booing too loud. That's what it was. Like, these people just had no vision, and they believed what I was doing was so evil and malevolent that, banned for life from that venue. But jeez. I came up there. That was my hometown club, and I did 5 years there and recorded an album there at the end of February of 2020. And then we did a roast battle, and it was at the height of the panic. It was like everybody was, oh my God, they're going to lock everybody down. People are getting sick like they have been for the last 10,000 years of humanity. You know, this tempest in a teacup. And that was when I spit in Brett Forte's face on stage at the height of it. And then 2 days later, we were in lockdown. And that was at that moment, the end of my comedy career. But I had made it to headliner. I had more than 45 minutes to an hour of material. I had sold out that place for my album, and I was looking to start making inroads down into the States. Like, Brett was opening for big name comedians and was negotiating flight deals to be flying down over to London, England and stuff like that. And then everything was gone. And we didn't know if we were ever going to perform ever again in those venues or anything. And then, lockdown was just what it was. And that's when I met Uncle Hack. And that's also through Jason Rouse. Jason had done the Uncle Hack podcast and told me, he's like, you got to get together with this guy. You guys got to meet. And Uncle Hack had just started dipping his toes into stand-up comedy in 2020. Like, he was a world-class, put Teryn to shame with his drinking abilities and shenanigans that he pulls on. Like, he was a legend in his own rights from the oil field, cutting his promos and shooting his videos, and very funny guy, but he wanted to go into the big, like, stand-up comedy is the blood sport. You either kill or you die up there. There's kind of no in between. And it's the ultimate test of one's being funny. Like, I know both of you are hilarious people and you're slinging one-liners and doing stuff, but it's a different beast to be up on doing 5 minutes in any room in any club, in any city, anywhere in the world. You got to be able to go up there and spew hot fury. And that's what being a comedian's about. And Uncle Hack, to his credit, he's very persistent. If you know anything about him, he had a brief career in MMA and as a hockey goon playing down in the States.
We had him on the show, I think, in 2020.
Yeah.
It was primed up COVID. We brought Hack on.
Right on. And so that was when I basically started meeting him. And I went and did the podcast. And there's a whole bunch of history. You can look at Brett Forte Comedy online. He's got quite the history of myself and roast battles and the friction that we've had. He's like my best friend and my most bitter enemy.
So when did you start touring with them then?
With Hack?
Yeah.
Well, Brett and I, that was kind of always my favorite thing, was doing shows with Brett. But Brett was always working so much that we didn't really do that many shows together until roast battles happened. And I wasn't, like, in 2018 when he started the roast battles, I wasn't getting a lot of stage time at Yuck Yucks. Like, I was working for him on the road, but they weren't putting me up at the club because I just had a reputation as being too dangerous, is what they said. Like, he's too hit or miss. Either the crowd loves him or they hate him. And believe me, when I go in and just do like a regular comedy club, like, I upset the balance of things. Like, I have people that love it, but I also have people that are just like completely aghast and can't believe what they're seeing. And so when I'm, doing guest spots and I'm just hitting a quick 5 minutes at one of the clubs, it's always, I love doing that because they're not expecting it. And it's a minor miracle that I made it as far as I did doing what I do. And that's a testament to me being at an age where I was a bit older when I got into stand-up comedy. I was 35 years old. So I'd already had like a goodly amount of life experience, the weight of the world hadn't crushed me. And I was still wanting to pursue my dreams of being a professional stand-up comedian. And so I never wasted a 5-minute set. Anytime I ever got any stage time, I swung for the fences and was never treated it like this isn't a big deal. There's 6 people in the room tonight. Hell no.
Right.
And that was kind of the difference between me and a lot of other guys in this business, is they don't take that opportunity of getting the mic and the spotlight. You have 5 minutes too, most of the time, to make it.
Yeah.
So you got to separate yourself from the pack. And that is what I had done. I'd made it professional and then ran into Hack, and he was a natural at it, but he was very inexperienced. But he had a fan base that was rabid for him.
We love it. Dirty oil-filled Alberta kids. They're great.
Yeah.
That's 100% what it is. Anytime, like when I was promoting this show to some people around here, I was like, you know what the danger cats are? And they're like, aren't those young kids that have mullets? And I was like, well, I mean, their fans fucking have mullets. Yes.
Yeah.
They 100% do. And then, yeah, they just associate it with like young little punks with mullets. And I was like, well, I mean, I guess.
Yeah. At one of the school districts, they banned all danger cats, like streetwear.
Oh, like the hats and the shirts and shit?
The hats. Yeah. The hats and the shirts and the flags, all that stuff.
All right. Dirty Dick Rick is wanting to know how old you are.
Oh man, I'm getting a little long in the tooth here. I'm 44 years old. I was born in the 70s.
Yeah, like late 70s, right? That doesn't count, does it?
Pardon me?
But like late 70s, right? That don't count because I was born 83. Like I'm 41, right? So I'm like right.
Oh, it is, but you're from the 80s. I'm from the 70s, Daddy. 79.
No, you're just like 70s, but like, aren't you technically on the end of the 70s, bro? I love it. Though. I love it.
I am, but it is still on my birth certificate. It says 79 on there, and I hold that in high regard because there isn't a lot of guys my age that ever make it into the big leagues like this. Yeah. Because you get wrapped up in life. Like life gets you. You have a family. You got a job. You got to do this, and I come from a blue collar family and a blue collar background, and I worked construction my whole life in order to provide the lifestyle so that I could pursue this. So I succeeded at life before comedy, and now comedy is the cherry on top. It's like, it's what I was meant to do. And I'm having a great time doing it. And we're making it to a level that not a lot of people ever get to see. And that's because of Uncle Hack and Brett. Like, none of this would have ever happened if the three of us didn't meet up. And so I did his podcast in 2020, and Brett had a situation where his Brett had gotten canceled for a joke at the beginning of lockdown, and nobody in the Canadian comedy community defended him. And it was a joke he'd been telling for years. And so this was the first time I was on a platform and was able to defend Brett. And so I did. I told the other comedians in Canada, like, there's nowhere to run. Like, there's nowhere to run. We're all in this together. And if they can do this to Brett, they can do this to anybody else. So we need to stick together and support one another. Yeah. And the complete opposite of that happened over the next 2 years. But Brett, Hack, and I formed a friendship. And then we went down to Texas in the summer of 21 on a holiday together. And that's where the Danger Cats comedy entity became something. Like, we had such a good time, and we gelled so well as a unit that we were like, when we get back to Canada, and this was, remember the summer of 21, I don't know what it was like for you guys wherever you guys were, but that was like, everything was on lockdowns, but everything was opening up for the Stampede and everything. Like, they were going full blast, like no curfews, bars could be open again. And because remember, they were doing that, like, oh, you could do patios, and then they'd shut down the patios for 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And lumber had become as expensive as gold. And so all these businesses lost their shirts many times. Completely disgusting, man. I'm still not over it. I am livid to this day over what they did to this. The population of this country is completely unwarranted and disgusting. But it made us appreciate that every show is the last show. And we went into it with that mentality, and it showed in the, like, Hack went from having 10 minutes of material and Brett and I doing the rest of the time on the shows to now Hack can do 45 minutes, half hour handily.
Fast growth.
Yeah. And also the amount of shows that we were doing, we were killing it, man. Like, we started doing outlawed jokes on outlawed mics is how we called it. And we started doing people's bachelor parties or birthdays, or we go to private land and the community would come in and we'd do a show in a Quonset hut, you know, because we weren't able to perform in clubs at the time. And so we just, it just started growing, and we developed a fan base. From Danger Cats was like a brand name, but it didn't really have, like, it was a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But we became representative of the comedy of that lifestyle. And there's something for everybody at a Danger Cats show, because if you don't like me, you'll like Hack or you'll like Brett, you know. It's not just like one trick ponies. And despite what the newspapers write about us, is we're very inclusive in our comedy, in that we make fun of anyone and anything. Like, there are no sacred cows in comedy, and we don't just pick on things to be edgy and crass. It's not like that at all. The first rule is be funny.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can guarantee you we are hilarious. So anybody watching anywhere, please come see us live and in the flesh, because we will show you how it is done. Nobody does it better. And even in America, we've done Minnesota, and we've done Texas, we've done Dallas, we've done Plano, we've done San Antonio. And even in those places where it's America, the land of the free and anything goes, we are still blowing their hair back. three Alberta boys from Canada are doing it right. And I stand by that. We are, to make it big in Canadian entertainment, you have to leave. You look at some of the legends of comedy, just like the obvious ones of, let's just start with Jim Carrey, Dan Aykroyd, Martin Short,
Steve Martin, John Candy,
Rick Moranis,
Mike Myers.
Exactly. Like, these guys are heavyweights of comedy. And just to go back to your original question on just like my influences in comedy were funny movies. That was always what I loved. Here's the granddaddy of them all, fucking Leslie Nielsen, the Naked Gun.
You know what? It's fucking hilarious.
Fuck yeah, man.
He was born in Rochford Bridge, Alberta. Fun fact.
Yeah, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan was officially how he's billed on his Wikipedia.
But he was born in shitty little Rochford Bridge, Alberta. And
that's fucking amazing. And he became like one of the funniest men on the planet.
Yes.
I agree.
To ever do it. And like Robin Hood, Men in Tights, I guess, Mel Brooks, Spaceballs, like those were always huge influences on me. So it wasn't so much stand-up comedy, but movies, TV was never as funny as a movie was growing up. As you know, Dez, you're just squeaking in as a millennial. I'm the ass end of Gen X, but we're of the same generation. I probably would have bullied you a bit at daycare, but you're a big kid. You probably would have kicked my ass, and then we would have become best friends. But you know, I can tell we're of the same generation. And Teryn, you're such a young lady. Some of this stuff is probably flying over your head.
Not even, sir. I prefer to drink with old dudes. Thank you. My company, I preference old people.
Here we go.
Yeah, hopefully.
I fucking hate the youth. They're terrible. I've said it live on here before, and it's gonna get me canceled one day. Kids these days need the asses beat. Okay, spank your fucking kids. They ain't learning nothing, taking their goddamn cell phones away. That goddamn thing.
Teryn's
such a comments and light up. Teryn loves old dudes. They know. They know what I'm about.
Teryn's such a lady. She probably washes off Dirty Dick Rick's dick with her drink before she sips it.
We're not roasting Teryn today, sir.
Whoa! I'm sorry.
This is the Teryn and Dez show. Wow. Yeah, exactly, Tony. Wow.
I'd be impressed. I wouldn't. I'd be highly honored.
What for what? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Welcome, Stephen Orr. This is Horror 101 with Teryn. Holy piss.
Oh no, I opened up the Pandora's box.
For me, I fucked up really bad, guys.
This is gonna be so good. This next cruise, Sam, you don't even know what you're doing for these dudes. This is gonna be so fucking hilarious. And I will be there sending you videos of all of this shit, man.
I appreciate that. I like that behind the scenes raw footage of Teryn in the wild. She's an entertaining lady, and I was, quite interested when I heard about you guys. I guess it'd be like a couple years ago now, is when I first kind of saw what you guys were doing, and the Jericho cruise looks like mayhem.
Yes.
You know what? Now I'm just going to call the trolls out now. Fucking come at me here. I'm just talking. Oh, the Jericho cruise is the fucking #1 thing in the world. It's so great. It's fucking daisies and rainbows. No, it's a bunch of fat fucking mooks harassing grown-ass men, okay? Okay? And then, exactly. Good cop, bad cop. Teryn and Dez. Good cop, bad cop. My friend Dez. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry about my friend Dez. He's special, And then I have to fucking good cop it because he's like, hey, oh my God, can I get photos? I'm like, oh, come on in, little boy. Come on.
It's also like, oh, I'm sorry, my friend's such a bitch. Hi, I'm the friendly one.
We play good cop, bad cop all the time. But that's the thing on the cruise. I am a dick, and now all these old dudes are gonna be like, oh fuck, I got a chance. Like, fuck, boys, I have fucking standards here, okay?
Yeah.
I gotta shower at least fucking 4 to 5 times a week.
Yeah, so no Calgarians.
No, not this summer at least, okay?
No, it's not. We got this the manufactured water crisis. Like, I can't, it's one of these things. It's the new lockdown. And you watch, you mark my words, within the next few years, they're going to start saying you aren't allowed to travel because it's too warm out. Like an example is last summer, I went to the Great Outdoor Comedy Festival. A friend of mine had got me a ticket for it. And so I was going to go see Theo Vaughn. And it was in Edmonton. And it's like this, you know, a big outdoor comedy show. They do it up right. They got food trucks and liquor lizards all over the place there. And they canceled it on the Friday night because of the smoke from the fires.
Wow.
And that's the first time in my life that the government has told me where I can't go because the smoke's outside. And then Saturday night goes on and the smoke was much worse, was visibly worse, and they allowed the event to go on.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's one of those things that like, we also live in Canada. We are the most resource rich country in the world today. Like, no wonder everybody's bribing our politicians and our whole parliament is corrupted by foreign actors, is because it's all about money and resources. And water is a tremendous resource, if not one of the most important ones. And look, I get being frugal with water. I've been to Burning Man 6 times.
Oh, that explains a lot.
It does.
Holy fuck! I just painting the whole picture here.
But I'm also very aware of, you know, your water consumption out in the desert, right? Like you do need to wash, and you do need to drink, and you need to stay hydrated out there because it's no joke. Like that landscape is one of the most punishing on earth. Well, maybe next to the Arctic, but as far as the Black Rock Desert down in Nevada, like there ain't even bugs down there. Like that's how barren it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh, just shit goes out to die, right? That's where the people that's where animals go to die, is the fucking barren lands.
Yeah, it really is. Like it's the alkali playa. It's prehistoric lake bed is what it is, and it's a harsh environment. So if you go down there to have a good time and party, you got to have your shit together, and water is part of that. So I know how to be a good steward of the environment. What I don't need is a fake ass mayor, Jyoti Gondek, coming here and telling me not to shave and to grow a beard, like that's gonna offset the
Just
environment.
Go find a bitch and say, listen, bitches like this. They want the mustache ride, bitch.
Because the mustache ride is always free.
I was gonna ask you about that. I was gonna say, how much you charge for mustache ride? Like, so I was gonna ask, but thank you for bringing that to my attention. That was my main question today. So thank you for clearing that up. Fuck that mayor in Calgary though, for real.
Yeah, she's like literally telling people not to shower, and so people have taken it upon themselves to start shaming one another for people doing running their dishwasher, doing their laundry, and like I pity these poor kids going outside and having a water fight.
Yeah,
because some stingy old neighbor is going to be like, oh, put that water back in the reservoir. Like, look, you do need to be careful with resources, but you don't need to be telling people not to be hygienic. And I thought we were supposed to be washing our hands 24/7, 365.
COVID-19.
Yeah, exactly. They're mixed messaging. It's bullshit, but it's another form of control. And you watch, if they're doing it up in Canada, they will start doing it down in the States, and it'll be under the guise of climate change and the environment. So that's what's going on in Calgary right now.
Well, yeah, climate change, like the carbon tax has really helped our weather. Have you noticed that? Personally, I've noticed it. I've been really loving the shitty fucking seasons we've been having. It's great. It's
unbelievable. And one of the things I noticed, like, I don't want to get too deep into conspiracy theories here, but they do manage the weather as far as cloud seeding. It's something that they've been doing since World War II. It was they did it strategically to interfere with the ability of your enemy to get across country. Like muddy roads make it very difficult for tanks and artillery to make it to positions, and cloud cover for attacks and stuff like that. So, and also the Beijing Olympics is a good example of recently, is they were firing artillery into the clouds to shoo them away so that they had good weather for the Olympics. This is all proven scientific fact. But what it also is it's a form of control. Is when it's cloudy and the sun's not out and it's rainy weather, it keeps people indoors. It makes them so that they don't go out. And you'll notice it on a sunny day in any community. People are out, people are smiling, and people are going out and doing things. And when it's rainy out, no, not so much. They're staying in, they're watching their TV, they're buying their shit on Amazon. And not like, we need to come together. Like, it's very important that people go out, whether it be to wrestling shows or concerts or comedy shows.
I literally dealt with this last year. I was trying to sunbathe topless in my backyard, and one of the neighbors got mad at me.
That's bullshit, because this is Canada. You're allowed to do that.
No, you're not. Not if you're a lady, but if you're a dude with big tits, you're allowed to go out and show those bad boys off. Fucking John, bless your boys. You know? So
no, you look it up. It was a law back in the 90s.
Wait, so I can freely run around with my tits out?
You could walk down Main Street, and there's not a damn. Most women don't do it because they're not. They don't want the onslaught of that kind of attention. But yeah, you can do it. Like, you can put some data on that and look that up. That's you will not get charged.
I'm a little scared where I live. We won't be doing walking around with the tits out. But you think it applies to international walk? Never mind. I'm not doing that on the cruise. Fuck me.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good. I don't even wear bathing suits on that fucking cruise anymore, man. All those mookie fucks. But that's one thing we didn't even get into. We're getting. Tony said, "Stop deflecting." I'm just not going to continue reading that comment. Stop deflecting. We didn't even touch base on fucking pro wrestling yet. Okay.
Yeah, and my whole life is based on pro wrestling. Like, everything I've ever done is attached to wrestling. I am a wrestler of life. Whether I'm performing on stage, if I get canceled so hard that I'm never back on stage again, I will still be wearing the same clothes, ripping the same jokes with the same attitude, whether I'm walking into the 7-Eleven or the Hilton or walking down that aisle for the roast battle. It's the same. It's that same mindset of getting from town to town, living out of suitcases, and trying to eat the best I can on the road and train physically, like hit the gyms or at least get a hotel workout in so that I look good on stage.
Well, I mean,
same as wrestlers, right? Yeah. Except I'm not foolish enough to put my body on the line like that, because those guys are wild.
Well, let me tell you that right now is I do stand up, I've done stand up now for years, and I fucking do pro wrestling, and I'm getting myself out of the ring because I can entertain a crowd more fun with just a microphone and a stage than I do having to fucking take bumps. So
yeah, man. And Roddy Piper is kind of the measuring stick for wrestling for me, because my favorite part of wrestling isn't the actual wrestling. It's the fucking promos and the entrances. Yeah, and the better a wrestler you are, the least amount of wrestling you do, because it's all about being on that stick, daddy, and getting those people worked up and getting that heat and getting the hell out of there, man. I don't want to see these guys taking a beating. I want to see them maybe take a small ass kicking and then run out that room, out that back arena entrance onto the next town.
Fuck yeah, you want them wanting more, right? You want you want them to get some licks in, but the bad guys got to get away. There's got to be something to bait them. That the chase is there, right? Okay.
Yeah, and the way you guys put your bodies on the line is, I have eternal respect for that, man, because I don't actually watch the current product that's going on. I watch a lot of, I guess, old wrestling, because for me, wrestling lost its luster in 2007 when Chris Benoit murdered his family. And then wrestling just kind of went really G-rated for a long time.
Yeah.
And it lost its way. Like, I like the roided out guys. I don't want to see physiques that I can see at the local World Health Club. I want to see these guys with, and it helps them on the road recover. And these guys aren't going to live that long anyway. So it's not like some steroids is going to shorten their life They're there for.
It's not a competition. It's a fucking show. Let them roid up if they want to. Fuck.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's fucking get some roids in these boys here. Holy fuck! Because
I'll start
fucking
juicing up
fucking
right
arms
now.
and
People in
core
there,
chest
if people in
ain't
the
in.
chat want to fucking start me on some juice. Get me on the fucking program. I'll start poking in the bum here more than I am already. Fucking let's get some juice here. Let's fucking talk.
Yeah, and if you're that's another thing is the boogeyman of roids is like if you're not abusing the things, if you're using them for what they're for, which is creating German and Russian super soldiers from the Cold War, is it's meant to protect the body. And when you're on the road wrestling, like you need all the help you can get, and your shelf life by the time these guys actually make it to the big leagues,
Yeah, man.
their bodies are so worn out that they have a limited time
Yeah,
to
exactly.
make that money. So
Okay, so would you be opposed to going to some new age wrestling or no?
Oh, not at all. I go to I've seen some wrestling shows like the independent scene in Calgary and Edmonton.
Like
is great.
RCW, Dungeon, shit like that?
Yeah, I haven't been to Dungeon, but I sometimes Top Talent up in Edmonton runs a really good show.
I know you must only go the times I don't go then. Would you be open to going to AEW in
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I'll always love wrestling, but I don't watch Monday Night Raw anymore. I don't watch SmackDown. Occasionally I'll make it out to my bud's place. Shout out to Jimson for having me up for WrestleManias. And then I'll kind of see like the culmination of a year's worth of storylines and figure out, oh, okay, these are the bad guys now, and this is who. But
so you watch WrestleMania and you're like, okay, we love Cody Rhodes. Just kidding. Cody can fuck off. We actually really love our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. We acknowledge him.
Wow. Okay. The High Chief himself.
Actually, today Roman Reigns' dad did pass away. I did see that. So
Today,
yes.
Wow.
So R.I.P. Fucking Sika. Or Sika. I don't know. I don't speak Samoan. I don't know how to say the name properly.
Yeah. See, I knew those guys as
the Wild Samoans, right?
Yeah, the Wild Samoans. Then they had another one too. another incarnation that Fatu and Samu, and that's like yeah, that's like that's the 80s. And you know what? Rikishi's ass had heat on me when he was back in the WWF with the head shrinkers. I hated his ass in those tights. Even when I was a kid, I was like, fuck that guy.
All right. So Dirty Dick Rick is saying, go to AEW. Maybe you'll get booked on the old Jericho cruise. That would actually be something cool to start pumping. See if you guys could do that. If me and Des have any sort of leeway. Nani is saying, just like we acknowledge our Canadian queen, she's talking about me. And then, Jamal, fuck Cody Rhodes. He needs to fuck off. Brandy,
he comes from the dream, though. Dusty Rhodes.
But Dusty Rhodes is actually fucking cool. Cody is a little crybaby bitch. Okay?
And Goldust, too. Oh, Goldust.
Yeah, we love Goldust and we love Dusty, but we don't love Cody. Okay? I fucking hate Cody Rhodes. I am so glad I didn't make it to WrestleMania to watch him finish that stupid fucking story. Like, fuck off Cody Rhodes. Nobody wants any of it.
Strong opinions.
Yeah, that's actually Teryn's motto. It's actually her back tattoo. It says strong opinions.
Not at all. My back tattoo. I only have one back tattoo, and it's like the worst one ever. But it's still pretty cool.
I can't wait to see it next time I see you.
Just it's like, hey, can I see your tattoos? I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I just wore nothing. Here's all my tattoos.
Now you're getting with the program.
Oh, I've been with the program, sir. I've been with the program. And I don't know if you looked at the comments because Dirty Dick Rick, I think, was also with the program.
Yeah, Tony's been pushing an agenda pretty hard here tonight. I think he's trying to fucking, like I said, I think there's going to be some shenanigans happening in the after party here tonight.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, like, I don't watch the current product, but I love wrestling, and I know I can hop back into it. So I've been hearing a lot about AEW and whatnot, and what's going on in the E, or the Federation, as I knew it when I was growing up.
WWE is kind of I don't watch it every week. I actually don't even watch AEW every week, but you will count on me to be at any AEW Alberta show because I'll go there and I'll just be loud as fuck.
Right on. And that's one of the amazing things about wrestling is the audience is as much a part of the show as the wrestlers.
But it's not the way it used to be.
How so?
Do you know how many times I get told to shut up and like parents are like, can you watch your mouth? Like, hey, you can't take that MDMA here. And I'm like, I'm going to do whatever I want. I didn't take MDMA.
Of course. So when I'm in those environments.
You can't show your tits. You can't flash anyone. Like, it's bullshit. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, Roman. And I'm like, my rack's out a little bit. And they're like, miss, settle down. I'm like, I grew up in the Attitude Era. Be thankful my tits aren't all the way out. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, see, when I go to a wrestling show, it's usually with family friends, like they're bringing their kids. So I make sure that I'm rowdy, but as long as I'm not openly cursing, anything goes.
I can't watch my mouth. I've got a dirty mouth.
I know you do.
Jesus Christ.
It needs to be washed out. I can tell.
Holy fuck.
Maybe in Calgary, if there's some extra water. I don't know.
Oh, no, we can't spare it. Can't spare a cup. Sorry, Teryn.
Oh, fuck. Mouthwash it is. Some Listerine strips call me good.
Yeah, no shade.
I am the only thing separating these two at this point here, you guys. Literally, fucking, there is a line here, and I'm the only thing that's holding us back now. Fucking.
Oh, we'll be crossing that line pretty close, Dez.
You guys are gonna be telling Tony will buy tickets to this show is what's gonna fucking happen here. Holy fuck. Exactly.
Producer Hobo Ted on the ball.
Hobo Ted knows exactly.
Kevin, actually, I am looking at going to Mania in Vegas because I've never been to Vegas, and I think that's a perfect place for me of all people to meet.
Oh God, it's built for you.
I know. Everyone keeps telling me it's a cruise on land. I'm like, but what about my sea legs?
No, and you don't gotta watch your language in Vegas. That's for sure. It's an adult
language on the cruise.
You don't watch it at the gas station either. I bet.
No,
that's why I like you.
Gave me a cunt on Friday at the gas station, so I mean it was pretty good. She wouldn't get out of my fucking way, so I was like, "Get out of my way, cunt!" And then she got real wild and tried to fight this old lady, not me.
What?
So it's not my problem.
The price of gas these days, there's no. Look, Dez, I don't even want to know what the price of gas is up where you are.
$2.35.
Oh, gross.
Well, that's pretty rough. I thought it was really bad where I am. I think I put some in my car today. It was $152.9.
Oh, now people are going to be able to figure out where you live.
No, it's actually more expensive than Whitecourt. I paid $159 too on Sunday.
Wow. It's around there here. I
gotta get really excited and do a quick shout out to Antonio Bologna, buddy. I'm really excited to maybe see you again. Maybe not. I don't know. Antonio Bologna. Keep that fucking video camera out of your hand, though. Let me tell you what, you got some real sick footage. All right? I don't like it. I'm still waiting for that fucking documentary to come out with that sick footage of a drunk Terry.
Need all the fucking B-sides from that footage for sure from Terry.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's like the worst footage ever. Hey, Terry, you want to do a quick interview? And I'm just like the most blacked out I've been on the entire trip. Why do you love the Jericho Cruise? Because I can get drunk as fuck and nobody judges us. Everybody was judging me and Dez at fucking 9 a.m. in the morning, waiting for the bar to open while we wreck breakfast.
Yeah, like I think I almost broke my glasses as I leaned into my fucking shatter pen,
We had to be put to bed. We went and woke my roommate up, and she came up and put us to bed because we were so drunk still from 2 days before. She's like, "You need to have a nap," and we're like, "No, we're good. We just have hiccups." We're like, "We're good," and then we like passed out on the table. So she made us take an hour nap, and I was good for like 3 more days. So I was good.
Oh, right on. One of those. A power nap.
That's all I do on the cruise, honey. That's all I do. I don't full sleep. No, I walked on the cruise last year for fucking like 36 hours. I was killing it.
I blew it here. I'm watching this thing on my phone, and this is a group chat for ants right now. I can't even see it. It's so small. So I don't know what the comments are going.
So Antonio Bologna called us all beautiful people. I think he was mostly talking about me and your mustache. Then he blessed us. Tony said, Sam doesn't worry about gas prices. He gives mustache rides. So, yeah, Tony's been, you'll have to go back and look at the comments. Tony's been really busting it.
That's a half truth, because gas, grass, or ass, nobody rides for free. That's an old proverb.
Yeah.
I mean,
way of the road. But,
people only eat my grass. I don't get it. It's fucking,
yeah.
I get it.
All right.
I get it.
Since we were talking wrestling and Jericho Cruise, who is your all-time favorite wrestler? I feel like we've had this conversation before, but the people need this conversation.
My all-time favorite wrestler, Macho Man Randy Savage.
All right,
all-time. And then I'd go HBK and then Kurt Angle. They're like they're tied.
So fucked up. You put HBK over Bret Hart?
Look, I'm a bad guy.
Yeah,
I'm a
bad guy.
Love it.
We all are. All right. So, anyways, I know what pictures I'm going to send him later, guys. It's not going to be of this old wreck. It's going to be me dressed up as old fucking Macho Man. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's actually a real thing that happened.
Thank you. And so, what about you guys? I'll reverse the question on you guys.
My favorite
wrestler
of all time?
Yeah.
Mine's kind of a fucked up one because of all time is actually Benoit.
Nice. Well, that's an excellent choice. Excellent choice.
If I have to go current age where I can't, like, don't want to piss anybody off, I'm going to have to go with the GOAT himself, old Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Excellent choice.
Not everyone American, but.
What about you, Dez?
Growing up, it was Shawn Michaels for sure. Definitely, I chose Shawn Michaels over Bret, I think, a lot of the times. And then, getting older, Jericho was definitely one to look at. Bray Wyatt, I think, is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, though. He's just a bigger dude like me, and he's a real storyteller, like you said. Once you have that connection to the crowd and you're able to connect with people and tell a story, then they're eating out of your fucking hand. And he knew that more than many people on this. So.
Right on. Excellent choices. We're all kind of in the same pantheon of greatness.
Well, I mean, we can't be the official party podcast of the Jericho Cruise and not put Jericho in it. It kind of goes against all of our morals.
Yeah, see, I was on it when Y2J came out, and I loved him in WCW. I always watched WCW. I'd watch it because it was like, and we just roast it. We just roast it the whole time we were watching it. But there was occasionally something cool would come out of it. But it was always like, this guy needs to get to the WWF. And that was Jericho and the New Radicals, man. Like,
fuck yeah.
I remember Barry Saturn and shit.
Yeah.
What a fucking lost cause that one was, it turned out to be. But I mean, fucking Eddie. I do have to put Eddie in a pretty high category for myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
I did love Eddie a lot.
He was such a good bad guy. I loved him so much. That was kind of the beginning of the end for me. Was I remember the last time I saw him, I was driving down the street. Well, like the last time I saw him on TV, even. I was driving down the street and I stopped at the red light and I looked in at Hudson's off of 10th Avenue there in Calgary, and I could see wrestling was on, and he was in a match with Eddie Guerrero and Ken Kennedy, who I was a huge Ken Kennedy fan.
He was so fucking outlandish.
He was so good. He was the next big thing. Him and Eugene. Remember Eugene?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Eugene with the musical chairs.
Eugene was so fucking good, but he got Nick Dinsmore. He got injured, lost his momentum, but he was on a rocket ride because he was so good. He was so funny, and he was working with the Rock, Evolution, everything at the time. But yeah, that was the last time I saw Eddie Guerrero on TV, was the Ken Kennedy match, and then it was like the next day he had passed away.
Anderson is running a school in St. Paul, Minnesota now. Shanna, baby, when I come out there, can we just like swing by and be like, Mr.
That was awesome. And that was another thing. Benoit killed the roids guys because everybody had to get off the gas as soon as he did it. Then it was like all eyes on the WWE, and Vince was like, all the boys got to get off it. And you saw like it was brutal for guys like Chris Masters.
Oh yeah,
and
Triple H.
and Ken Kennedy as well. Like those guys' physique suffered horribly, and it's a shame, man, because you got to be on the gas to be running those schedules.
We can hit 3 indie shows in a weekend, bitch. Put my name on one of the rooms at your house because I'm coming. Okay, just call me MVP because I'm fucking coming. Okay.
Call her. We are wasted because she's coming.
Holy yes. But no, seriously, I'm actually going to get out to Minnesota and go stay with Shanna and Will. So.
Yeah, well, that's awesome that he's running a wrestling school. I wonder who his students are, if anybody's making it into the big leagues.
You should. I'm really surprised Brandel Cheeseburger is not in the comments tonight. He runs a school out in Bristol, PA. That's where I went, and he let me drunkenly wrestle.
Oh no!
And learn. It's actually I'll send you the video. It turned out really good, and the fact that I'm like 12 out of 10 blackout drunk is fucking wild.
Wow.
And Darius Martin, I do know them. Oddly enough, Shanna, those were my loud ass neighbors last year on the cruise, and they were so loud, smoking weed and blowing it into my balcony room. Bullshit.
That was pretty funny. That was one of my favorite moments. Was just leaning over that railing.
Anytime I see those boys, I go, well, if it's my loud ass neighbors, and they know, they're loud as fuck.
I'm stunned. How do you guys get weed on a cruise?
I don't smoke weed, so
I know that there's just guys. They'll get it in. I think there's some bags don't get checked, or they just do a good enough job of hiding it. I think that's just kind of like what it is. I brought like shatter and other pens and stuff like that. Not on the cruise, but like through other security gates, so you kind of see what it's like. But yeah, then you see people straight up bringing weed on the boat. There was on the first cruise we did on the way to the Bahamas, guys were smoking weed in their room. You could smell it all the way down the hall, and especially right to the door. But then the craziest thing was when we got to the Bahamas, they got kicked off the fucking thing, and you didn't smell the weed because it was like, bro, why would you do that, man? Now you're in fucking Bahamas, like they're gonna treat that shit differently.
Yeah. It just amazes me how you cross over invisible lines on a map and suddenly everything's illegal or completely legal.
Yeah.
It's astounding.
Well, that's why international waters is great, right? You always have that feeling like you're in Pinocchio on a fucking boat to Pleasure Island. It's fucking great.
Yeah. Pinocchio's Pleasure
I gotta
Island.
be a really classy lady and take a sidestep off. I gotta rock a piss. And I don't even care
how much more time do we have on this?
Like we could wrap her up now if we come back to this because this has been fucking awesome, and I definitely want to talk for 5 more hours. But I think we all
I'd love to get an invite back and be a little bit more focused on wrestling related stuff so that we could all really get into it because I like hearing your guys' answers.
I can check my schedule and see if I can invite you back for some wrestling, but.
Well,
away from time from Horror 101. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but I had a great time. I had a great time talking with you guys, and I'd love to meet you in person.
We've literally met in person at the strip club.
I know, but I was more mentioning Dez.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, I already met that thing.
No.
Fuck yeah, man. Like I said, I want to pick your brain because you're doing something I want to be doing. You talked a lot about Austin. Kill Tony. I'm a huge fan. I've been doing stand-up now. I've been building it up. I've got 45 minutes. I've been doing emceeing, public speaking, pro wrestling for years. But we'll fucking talk about all that soon.
Well,
cool in the gang.
Tony said, Jesus Christ, I'm not reading that top one. Dez, you can read that. He can't read that. I'm not reading it out loud. Okay.
Oh, well, Sam Walker should bring Teryn to Pleasure Island. Yeah.
Okay. And then he said, maybe you can come to the after party. She wasn't a stripper. Jamal's really excited that I said strip club because we love strip clubs.
Yeah.
And then my Instagram son, who's much older than me, is talking nonsense right now. But yeah, we do usually do an after party if you want to come hang out and watch me get obliterated. Because it turns out I don't have to work tomorrow. I thought I had to work at 9 a.m. I don't have to work tomorrow.
What are you chugging, Teryn? You're gonna chug one really quick here, and he's gonna count you down. What are we doing here? Wrap it up.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
fucking
guess Sam can count me down. You know how it goes.
Jesus. Okay, Sam. So as tradition, if there's anything you want to plug, if you want to tell people where they can find you and what you've been up to, now is the time for sure. And then count her down so she can chug her big old dirty drink.
Yeah, you could find me across all platforms at Sam Walker Live and Danger Cats Comedy on Instagram. Find out where we're coming with tour dates, and hopefully we'll be in a city or a state near you soon enough. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
I can't
4, 3, 2, 1. Bone saws ready. Woo! And that's my lady.
Yeah, I'm a real classy girl.
Oh, you didn't follow it up with a lady belch.
Oh, that'll never happen. Girls don't burp. Okay.
Yeah. So come pick me up. Tony, come pick me up because I need a ride. Apparently, these guys have their own thing going on now, so I'm going to need a ride home after this, I guess.
All right, guys. I guess I will end the show per usual. Head over to prowrestlingtees.com/TDS. Buy the shirt. We're 7 months out. Rep your DC, your best drunk guy life. Nobody will out-drunk me, and that's okay. I know that. Okay, we're just pieces of shit. So go buy the fucking t-shirts. We're here 220 days out to the Jericho Cruise. Fucking 6. We got how many OGs? Not a lot. And the wildest shit ever of this, how many Canadians are on that Jericho Cruise? 66. We are a small minority, guys, and we can outdrink all these pissant fucking Americans because they drink piss water anyways, okay? Piss water.
Yeah.
Go buy the merch. Book the cruise. Use my fucking username to book the fucking cruise. Teryn Lee. It's fine. And in the meantime and in between time, just like Joanne McLeod, keep fit and have fun.
Yo, what's up? You're watching TDS.